Yo, what is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 gameplay video. Hey, in this video, I wanted to showcase just a really silly build. I like to call it Ride the Wave. And I call it that because you're basically alternating between 3 different tools that all shoot waves of fire out in front of you for incredible potential directional AoE fire damage. It's basically like playing the floor is lava, and you get to choose where the lava goes and watch everyone jump around, so they're easy targets or they melt and die. It's great. Now, right out of the gate, let me just say that, while I have used Khepri's Horn plenty in the past and made a couple of videos showcasing it, this particular video was inspired directly from another content creator named Slick, S-L-I-Q. I'll show his info on screen for you so you know where to find him. I highly recommend that you check him out if you're into creative and silly builds that let you do some really cool stuff. It's kind of his thing. So one day this week I woke up, saw him using Khepri's Horn in a creative way in a clip that he posted on Twitter, and I thought, dang, that looks fun. I haven't done Khepri's Horn in a while, so I figured I'd revisit the Khepri's Horn, and this gameplay was the result of the play session that followed it. Now, let's get to breaking this build down one piece at a time. First up is the exotic armor piece, right? The Khepri's Horn, so we'll start with the most basic thing. This thing is something else. I mean, just look at it. It's absolutely, it's hideous. It really is a bit of an eyesore, like a big old scarab face. And there's no mistaking it when you see it on a Titan. You know exactly what to expect. If you're not familiar with this exotic, it is pretty unique. It makes it so that anytime you deploy a barricade, the barricade will shoot a wave of fire out in front of it, dealing 100 damage to anything that it touches. Now, in addition, when that wave of fire reaches its apex, it will then actually turn around and come back and deal another 100 damage to anything that it touches there. So if your opponent doesn't move in time, they'll take 200 damage total and die. Now, one thing worth noting is that if the enemy player is standing right at that apex, they will just take 2 ticks of 100 damage each, like simultaneously, and basically insta-die. And when that happens, it's absolutely hilarious. It's a really rewarding feeling when you get that perfect distance and you tag them for 2 ticks of 100, like at the same second, and just watch them melt. It's a great feeling. And this is super useful in bottlenecks, doorways, choke points, as well as control zones. And I want to use these barricades a lot, so what I do is I run max resilience. I run tier 10 resilience because the resilience stat on a Titan is what dictates the cooldown rate of your barricade. So I run tier 10 so I can have the most or the best cooldown time possible. And I even go beyond that and I put double perpetuation mods on my class mark. So perpetuation is the mod that makes it so using your class ability refunds a chunk of class ability energy immediately. So you can see in the gameplay here that I get a nice little boost on my next cooldown for the barricade right off the rip. And those seconds, they do matter, those seconds that you shave off. Another thing worth noting is that I'm using bottom tree, which gives you sunspots on ability kills. And believe it or not, getting a kill with the Khepri's Horn fire wave, that counts as an ability kill and it creates sunspots, which is really freaking cool. You can hop in those for some fast cooldowns and extra damage with the Sun Warrior buff. And again, that just comes right back to getting your barricade back faster. So, whenever you go through a sunspot, you get that Sun Warrior buff, you're going to get a nice boost to your ability cooldown. So that's really, really nice. Alright, the next part of the build is really, really simple. It's Thermites. Not a lot to say here. Thermites make waves of fire, and those waves pulse out in the direction they were thrown. For this build, it just makes sense to double down on fire waves and use these bad boys. They're great for zone control and locking down an area or a doorway, choke point. And this build is not about being a well-rounded jack of all trades. It's not. It's about doing one thing, and doing that one thing incredibly well and very often. So Thermites it is. I'm running tier 7 discipline to help me get a decent amount of grenades every match. Now the third and final piece of the puzzle for this build is the kicker, right? This is the Martyr's Retribution. This grenade launcher is incredibly unique. It originally was introduced with the Sundial activity as a Saint 14 themed weapon, and it follows that aesthetic. But what's cool about it is that it doesn't really fire an explosive grenade like all the other launchers. This one fires a projectile, and when that projectile hits the ground, it will shoot a wave of fire forward for a maximum of 130 damage. It isn't really like a thermite though, it only sends one wave out, not multiple pulses. But that one wave is strong and very easy to place accurately and quickly without doing a grenade toss animation. Grenade toss animations, they take some time, you have to commit to a grenade throw, and there's a little bit of time before you can ready a weapon again. So a lot of times it's like a poorly timed grenade toss can actually get you killed because you don't have a way to defend yourself from a different target. So the grenade launcher is really nice because it's just a bam, you fire it, it's done, and you can go straight to shooting whatever weapon you want to go to next. So we have our 3 waves of sending fire out now, but here's the thing. These things can work like so scary well together. If you have a demolitionist roll on the Martyr's Retribution, you are in business, baby. I mean, you are in business. A lot of people overlook the second thing that demolitionist does. Everyone always just thinks about how demolitionist gives you extra grenade energy on kill, and while it does that, the other thing it does is it reloads your weapon automatically and instantly when you throw a grenade. So as soon as I throw a grenade, it's going to reload my gun. Okay, so what does that mean? What you can do here is a really, really nasty combo that it kind of feels like overkill, but it absolutely demolishes anything in its path. If you go into an engagement and you fire the Martyr's Retribution first, that's what you open with. You fire the grenade launcher, then, step number 2, then you throw the thermite grenade. Now you can fire another grenade launcher projectile immediately without doing a reload animation, right? Because demolitionist is going to reload your gun after your first shot. So you go Martyr's Retribution shot number 1, throw thermite number 2, and then number 3, fire the grenade launcher again. So it's bam, grenade, bam. Man, it's kind of nutty. It's 3 waves of fire in a row with no time in between them. And the thing is, the second pulse from the thermite grenade comes just after the second Martyr's Retribution grenade. So it ends up actually being 4 pulses back to back to back to back. If you really want to send a message, you can immediately deploy your barricade after the second Martyr's shot and absolutely just nuke the battlefield in front of you. Like I said, it feels like overkill, but it's incredibly strong. It feels like you carpet bomb a single target. Like, screw this guy in particular, and it's freaking hilarious. I absolutely love the feeling. Now the final thing I need to highlight is the primary weapon. Oh, before I do that, actually time out. Wheel it back real quick. On the Martyr's Retribution, if you really want to go for the god roll on this thing, auto-loading holster. Okay, have auto-loading holster equipped. That way the gun's just going to reload itself. You switch off of it. You don't have to go through the whole grenade reload animation at all. After you take your shot, you know, you can just holster the thing and run around with your primary. That's one thing I wanted to make sure I slipped that in there. Now, the final thing I need to highlight is my primary weapon. I found it made the most sense to use my exotic slot here, and I chose the Traveler's Chosen for a couple of different reasons. First and foremost, I need something that's going to reliably help me clean up damage that's dealt from the Martyr's Retribution. So the Traveler's Chosen has excellent range for a sidearm. It seemed like the most logical choice. And as I rack up kills with it, I'm going to be able to swap to it faster, have better stability and reliability from it, right? I'm even going to make sure that I have quick access sling on the Martyr's Retribution so that I can take the shot and then swap to the sidearm almost instantly. I mean, if you watch the swap speed in this gameplay, you'll notice just how lightning fast that swap and ready time is. And I'm usually getting my first damage on the target actually from the Traveler's Chosen, not the grenade launcher, because I'm able to take the shot with the grenade launcher and then swap to the Traveler's Chosen so fast that I can start shooting it and getting damage on the target before the wave of fire from the Martyr's Retribution even makes contact, which is it's really cool, honestly. The way the timing of this build all works out, super fun. So it's absolutely nutty how fast you can melt people with it. Okay, so a lot of people seem to be afraid of running builds like this. It's so much easier, I know, to equip the tried and true weapons and exotics that just work, and they don't require a lot of foresight or planning in order to perform at least adequately, right? But I would encourage you not to underestimate yourself and don't underestimate your propensity to adopt habits quickly. I mean, your mind and your body will adjust quickly. The muscle memory will come quickly. If you commit to a build like this that has so much synergy and several moving parts to it, you'll pick up on the nuances of the build quite fast. And you'll be using it like it's second nature in no time, I promise. People often see these creative approaches to PvP as unapproachable and daunting, and they're not. They really are not at all, guys. I absolutely encourage you to find a creative build. It doesn't have to be original, by the way. Just find one and take it for a spin for several matches and see how dynamic and interesting this game can be. Now, I've been doing all kinds of creative and interesting builds on the live stream for weeks now leading up to the new content, and that's only going to continue as we experiment with the new subclasses and exotics in the coming months. So feel free to come by the stream sometime. TrueVanguard.com. Super clean, super easy. TrueVanguard.com. We have an awesome and very welcoming community, and you'll be warmly welcomed there. And if you're picking up a next-gen console, might I recommend checking out ViewSonic Elite's XG2405 or the XG2705. They're the 24-inch and 27-inch models. These monitors were completely optimized for perfect console gaming for next-gen, but they won't push your budget like some of their other monitors that were specifically designed for high-end PC gaming. And I have a link to the ViewSonic Elite monitors in the description, so feel free to check those out. I don't make any kickback on those sales. There's no discount code or anything like that, so it's just an honest endorsement. Thank you so much, guys, for watching the video. I appreciate you. You smell nice. Drop a comment in the comment section about what some of your favorite creative builds are for PvP. Feel free to like the video only if you actually like the video. And be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.